Hey, you guys, it's Negative Indicted TV here. We're almost at 100K. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also remember I go live on Wednesdays evenings. I drop an episode every Sunday, 11 o'clock. Make sure you guys comment. If you guys have any suggestions, any questions, whatever it might be, drop a comment. Let's get into this episode.
If you or a loved one are battling addiction, this is your wake-up call. At Strive Forward Recovery, we help get you clean, get you moving, and keep you there. Don't wait. Call today and take back your life.
Hey, check this out. If you want to get into Navy Fed and get $20,000 in 95 days, comment the word credit. All right, come here. I already bombed this right here. Fix your credit. If you're Latino, you need to wake up. Fix your credit.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Indicted TV. I'm your host, Negra. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. Before we start, you already know I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors, Royalty Honey, keep it hard. You're probably gonna take some home with you.
Most definitely.
And also for the best jewelry for his glory. On today's episode, we have Bleeda. Welcome to Indicted TV.
Hey, how you doing?
I am good, thank you. So tell us where you're from, where you grew up, your mom, dad. How was the inside of your house growing up?
Yeah, I'm from the east side of Austin, Texas. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Texas boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom, for the most part, she was a single mother. You know what I'm saying? My pops was in and out of prison himself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that kind of, I feel like that might have affected me and kind of how I fell up into prison and shit.
Most definitely.
Sure.
Sometimes, it's just the cycle of, you not having your dad. And it's just, unfortunately, sometimes it's just the way it is, Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, ma'am. I have two brothers. I have one brother that's actually still incarcerated right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I also have a baby sister.
Okay. So you're the middle child.
Yes. I'm the third child.
Oh, the third. Okay.
It's four.
And how was school for you? Obviously, you said you grew up with your mom, the single mom, and your dad was in and out. But was she with your dad?
Yes.
Oh, so she was holding it down every time he was gone. Okay, so she's a writer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And how was it for you? Like elementary? How was school for you? Were you always were you a troublemaker? Did you like school? How was it?
Man, honestly,
tell me about you.
Yeah, honestly, elementary school, as far as back as I can remember, I used to like school. You know what I'm saying? When I was a young little kid, you know what I'm saying? It interested me. You know what I mean? Learning and stuff, especially math and stuff. But I'll say when my life started turning, my pops was in prison, probably for the second or third time already. And then my mom's mom ended up passing away from breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? So that, you know what I'm saying, being so young and not knowing how to deal with shit.
And they're obviously watching your mom go through the struggles and her losing her mom and, her not having somebody to be strong for her besides her kids.
Right.
It does take a toll on us when we're young.
For sure.
And so how old were you when that happened?
In the fifth grade, that was 2006. So
fifth grade, you're probably 9 or something.
I was probably about 8, 9, something like that. Yeah, yeah. So from back then, leading up to then, everything was good. I was, I wasn't really troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, when I was younger, even to this day, I still look like my mom a lot. You know what I'm saying? So when, being a little chubby faced kid, I was a cute kid, everybody liked me and shit.
Nice.
And then, but after that, once that happened in my life, that's when I started getting serious. You know what I'm saying?
Because you started probably feeling lonely and probably you had more time to yourself.
Yeah, a lot more. My mom, she had to take care of 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? She was a single mother, working 2, 3 jobs. So, you know, and then me, I got older brothers, you know what I'm saying? And like my oldest brother, he's always been like straight, like, you know, he grew up fast. So he's always been like, you know, like the more level headed. It's
Got
like
it.
the two middle child, you know, we were just always getting into shit. And then, you know, it started off small and then it just starts going, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. At what age did you get in trouble for the first time? Or even get kicked out of school? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah, probably like 9 years old, like fifth grade.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, once that happened, I just started thugging. I started fighting a lot. You know, I had brothers. You know what I'm saying? So we would always fight anyway. So then,
so you weren't even scared to fight.
no, man, no, man. But, but yeah, let's say about 9 years old. Then I ended up catching like one of my first cases ever was like a vandalism charge on some dumb shit, just being young. You know what I'm saying? Just being young and doing dumb shit with dumb people, dumb kids. We we were in like PE, like gym, and they make us run around the school like early in the morning. And you know, the assistant principals that we had at that school, like, you know, obviously I was always in the office, so they didn't like me and I didn't like them.
Of course.
And you know, like a couple of my friends, same thing, right? You know, single mother, you know, just so, you know, that's how we clicked and shit. And so we ended up running around the school and picking up rocks and like, cause you know, all the office people, they park in a specific parking lot. And yeah, so we their cars have.
Oh no! Yeah, you were definitely doing bad.
Yeah, we let them have it. I think I got caught with weed when I was in the 6th grade as well. I ended up getting sent to like an alternative learning center, right?
So young.
Yeah, in the 6th grade, I got sent there for the vandalism stuff. Did like 20 days at this alternative learning center, and then came back, and then not even like a week later, I got caught with weed, just smoking on the school bus. Dumb shit, just dumb shit. Like, I just didn't
Now
have.
do you, like obviously you're older now,
Right,
you know.
right.
So you have a little bit more experience.
Right.
Do you like it's like right now you're probably thinking about it. You're probably like, oh my goodness, like what was I thinking?
Yeah, no, I just laugh at it because it's like, man, what the fuck were you
Hey,
doing?
those are the good times. Those are the good times.
Right.
Those are definitely the good times. We're young, we're careless. Life is not good, but life is good because you're just free,
Right.
not doing whatever you want at the end
Right.
of the day because we don't have any consequences.
Right.
Mom's at work, just trying to hold it down. You know?
Yeah, me and my brother, around the time I start getting in trouble, me and my older brother, not my oldest, the one that's actually in prison right now for 20 years, me and him, we started like, we got phones. We got our first phones in like middle school and shit. So we started running like these little things where like when he would get in trouble, he would call my phone and we just wouldn't answer. So, you know, the principal would just leave a voicemail and want to call back. But he never called back. So
You guys thought you guys were slick.
yeah, we were pretty smart with it for a while. Yeah, I remember whenever they had to, when I got caught with the weed though, they were like, all right, well, you know, you're caught red-handed, blah, blah, blah. So they was like, you know, we need to call your parents. And I remember like the way the office was set up, there was a hallway behind the principal. I remember her name and everything, Miss Gold.
Miss Gold, if you're watching.
Yeah, hey. So she has a door that like, you know, she can go out. It's behind her desk, so it's behind her. And my brother, I swear to God, he's in the hallways walking around. So he peeps his head in. He's like, what? And I swear to God, he's like, call me, call my phone. And I'm like, I just shook my head at him because I'm like, no, I can't call you this time, dog. Like, they're kicking me out of school. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we going to go about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? What am I going to do? You know? So
you had to tell your mom, obviously.
Yeah, we called my mom.
She whooped you?
What? Yes. Yeah. But you know, like when you, I don't know, man, like when you're young like that, like, it just, because, you know, my mom used to whoop our ass, but it just didn't like.
Is she Hispanic?
Yes, okay. Yes. It just didn't register. Like, to me, it was just like, okay, like, you know, like, if you don't want to get your ass whooped, don't get caught. That's all you know?
Yeah, fool.
But yeah, so it started getting crazy. Started getting real crazy.
So you got kicked out. You had to go to the alternative school. You said you were there for like 20 days, right?
Yeah, 20 days. 20 days. Came back. Went right back for like another 30. Came back, and then I was chilling. I wasn't getting caught for dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? I was still fighting and shit, but I wasn't really just getting jammed up for it. And then Yeah, I think around that time, around like seventh, eighth, and then like seventh, eighth graders, and I started like like experimenting more with like girls and stuff. So like that kind of kept me away from the dumb shit. You know what I mean? But I was still in the mix, and then once high school came around, it was over with.
It was over with.
Yeah, it was over with.
When you say it was over with, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like, wow, we used to just go to school just to see what we were gonna do for the day and leave. Like, like I probably like without like officially dropping out, like I was like already like on the verge of dropping out in ninth grade.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Just because I was never going, I was never there. I wasn't doing no work. I wasn't doing shit. Like I was tripping for real. For real. As long as I was smoking some weed and just doing what I wanted to do, I didn't give a damn. I didn't think about my future. I didn't think about none of this shit.
I don't think we ever do. Well, I'm not gonna say all of us, but obviously, majority of us that are sitting in these two chairs,
right.
kind of think that way at a certain age, unless you're kind of like a late bloomer or like something happens later on in the future or whatever. You know?
But that late blooming shit, I don't know. That's weird to me.
But you know what? Let me tell you something. Sometimes I feel like your parents are so strict that you're not really able to do anything. So once you hit a certain age, it's like, oh, I start my experiment. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or sometimes kids get in relationships when they're like 15, 16, and those are the love of my life, and oh my God, I'll die for you. And they don't get to live life either. So they're not late bloomers in a form because they're already doing their thing, but they don't live life because they're not like doing other things. They're just focusing on the relationship. So when they're like 25, they break up and she becomes a hoe and him becomes I don't know what. They're super late bloomers.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I understand it.
So what happened to you? You were already 13. You get to high school. You almost get kicked.
I was already blooming. I was already blooming by the time I got to high school.
Yeah, I was already blooming. Flowers.
Yeah. So once high school came around, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like it went in steps, like gradually I took steps towards like, the type of shit that I was getting into, you know what I'm saying? Especially like when drugs start coming around, but not like hard drugs, you know what I mean? Just like smoking weed, sipping drink, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Texas. But, so then in high school, I ended up catching an aggravated robbery with my brother, one of my brothers, the one that's doing 20 right now. And then two of his friends.
Oh wow! And you said you were 13?
I was 13 at the time. Yeah. So,
and how did that go about? What was the situation like? What did you guys do? Obviously, whatever you could speak about. Like obviously,
right. No, everything's done. Everything's done now. But I just remember there was like a big argument. My pops had came home from prison, and him and my mom, they were trying to do their thing or whatever, right? And we were just already at that age where it was like, hey, respectfully, like, pops, like, it just didn't matter what you said, you know what I mean? Even like we'll fade the ass whooping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've already been out here doing it. Like we got reputations and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but that's how you think when you're like that age. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, I can't
even
stop.
Now, when you're an adult, like you would care about a reputation. I care about how I carry myself. Not about how I'm viewed, because I don't care how I'm viewed, but about myself.
That's what I meant. Like around at that age, you care about like how people view you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't really care about how you view yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you did, you wouldn't be out here just carrying yourself like that, reckless.
Of course.
But yeah, no, for sure.
So you're like, Dad, let's get it.
Yeah, I was like, man, hey, like I've been thugging for a couple years now. You know what I mean? Like we have together. You know what I mean? And you always told us to stick together. So
we're sticking together.
We're sticking together, man. So yeah. So then we caught that case or whatever, and I ended up doing like So I got sentenced to 10 years, but I was only 13. So it got like probated. I think that was the word. It got probated, and I did like 2 years. I did like 23 months at a facility in my city, a juvenile facility. Wow. Yeah. So but I remember getting out you know what I'm saying? I remember they let me out, you know, it was like first time, first time real offender, you know, so they brought up like the vandalism and the weed, but it was like, oh, that's not really no big shit.
So tell me, so you guys got arrested. Everybody got arrested at the same time.
Oh, no, man.
So
No, ma'am.
tell me how it went down. Obviously, we just got to the part where you said your dad or your mom were trying to do their thing. You were listening.
Okay, yeah.
And what happened?
Yeah, no, so, you know, Pops came around. He didn't like the way we were moving. You know what I'm saying? It was causing friction between him and my mom. You know what I'm saying? And looking back at it now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was wrong. It was foul for me and my brother to, like, you know, just pit my parents against each other. But as long as we got to do what the fuck we wanted, you know, it didn't really matter at the time. But yeah, so, you know, it just started causing stuff like that. And then, you know, things were said, you know what I'm saying? And so we decided, you know, well, leaving.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, we left. We linked with one of my, I'll never say my homeboys. I'm always say my brother's homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Even though, like, I made my decision to go and be a part of that shit, them weren't my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother's my people. You know what I mean? At this time. So yeah, so, you know, he calls his people to, you know, like, look out for us and stuff, and we're staying with them and we're doing this. Now we're going around and we just kind of went on like a binge thugging, like, for real. Like, you know, a lot of stuff that I'm saying I won't say right here, but you know, I'll talk about this case. And yeah, we ended up, you know, like, just hitting a home invasion, and someone was inside.
Ooh.
You know, so yeah, that didn't turn out too well. You know what I'm
It
saying?
didn't turn out as you planned, at least.
No,
right?
definitely not. So yeah. Fast forward, I think we were in a hotel. We were all in a hotel. We had invited, like, you know, because, like, at this time, our so-called friends are still in school, so they're still going to school.
Yeah,
and
because you're still
class.
young.
Yeah,
You're 13.
So we're like, hey, you know, y'all lunch, like, y'all come over here. We got a room. We're smoking. We're drinking. We're thugging. Like, come on.
Got the girls.
Come on now, you know. So yeah.
You're all happy.
Yeah, so that happened, right? And then we ended up getting, like, jammed up because, you know, it was just too much, like, the what do you call it? The, like,
too much chaos.
Neighbors and stuff
Yeah.
were complaining about the smell, and laws were called, and then somehow I guess there was, like, a laptop that was taken, and yeah, so that would kind of, like, fucked most of us over. But we all got locked up separately. Right there at the hotel, just one of my co-defendants got locked up, and then a couple of kids that were skipping school. And honestly, like, I don't have a better explanation than to say that God was looking out for me and my brother, because they're literally on. We had a room on the third floor, and we come down to the second, and we're literally, like, just in the hallway, like, fuck, like, you know, they're gonna either come up these stairs or they're coming up the elevator. They're going to the third floor. You know what I'm saying? At this point, everybody's fending for themselves, but we're brothers, so we're gonna stick together.
Yeah.
So we're right here, and we're just in the hallway, dude. We don't know what to do, right? We just don't know what to do, and we hear, like, the steps above us, and I want to say the room was like 209, and so we were 309. You know what I'm saying? Don't quote me on that, but yeah. So then we hear, you know, APD, open up. So we kind of just look like, oh shit, like, yeah, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here, like, fast. And, like, you know, I don't know what possessed me to do this. My brother wanted to jump out the second floor window.
My goodness.
Yeah. And, you know, he's like, we can't go out the front door. Like, it's not going to work. And I'm like, man, look, like, they haven't seen me and you. You know what I'm saying? They don't know us. Like, they, you know what I mean? Like, they just, like, they're here for the weed smell. Like, come on. Like, I was like, just listen to me. And I swear, my brother is hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? To this day, he don't listen. So.
Oh, he needs to get it together, brother.
For real. But the fact that he listened to me that day, and I said, man, let's go down the elevator. Like, I think they came up the stairs, so let's go down the elevator. We look like kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're baby faced, like, you know, there's a shell right there outside the hotel, the motel. Like, let's just walk to it. And I kid you not, when we come out the elevator, you know, it's like, hey, yeah, as soon as those doors open,
goodness, you're like, no.
you know what I mean? You're like, man, are they there? They're either there or they're not. Because, you know, the elevator stops and it dings and then it opens. So, you know, we're just.
Oh, my goodness.
And nobody's there. So we look. I'm like, come on. So we kind of just walk out. And he's like, man, act normal, act normal. All right. So we come around to the front desk. And the dude that worked the front desk, he knows that we were in that room, because, you know, he kept coming up there and saying, hey, I'm getting complaints. Open a window, put a towel, something. Y'all got to do something. All right, we got you. He's outside smoking a square. So we get to the front door, right? And there's cops all right here. They done already like arrested like maybe like 3 people. So yeah, we get to the door, and I kid you not, I don't know what made the front desk dude. I don't know what made him stop us, but he stopped us, and he's like, he saved us that day. You know what I'm saying? God saved us, and he saved us that day.
Of course,
because he's like, he's smoking a square, and he's like, hey, weren't y'all with that dude? He described him like what he was wearing. I can't remember, but I know he was like, weren't y'all with somebody that was wearing blah blah blah? And we were like, my brother tells him, nah, and he's like, I'm not the fucking police, like, but I saw y'all. I recognize you. He's like, look, just go back inside, whatever you got on you. If it's like illegal, you know, drugs, whatever. He's like, throw them behind the counter. He's like, but after you throw them there, you can't come back and get them. Like, that's my shit. Like, y'all got to go and get the fuck out. Down. So we were like, okay, boom. And he was a white dude too. So he kind of threw me off. I'm like,
sick ass fool, huh?
All right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. So my brother's like, man, we don't got nothing. You know, we left, like, as soon as everything started happening, we got out of the room. We left everything, you know what I'm saying? I even left like personal like stuff, you know what I'm saying? So he ended up like telling him like, man, no, you know, we just got like a little lump of cash on us. And he was like, oh, just bread. Like, oh, y'all good, go ahead.
Well, if I wanted to smoke,
so we were like, man, so my brother's like, what do you want to do? And I kid you not, the cops are standing right there like talking, and they're looking at us talking to this guy, but they're not like paying attention to us too much. So I'm like, man, just follow my lead. Like, you know, the younger brother, like, just come on. Like, I got us down to the first floor. Like, just keep listening to me. Like, we're going to walk to the store and get something to drink, go in the store. So we go into the store. We go and grab a little Gatorade and shit. Right? By the time we come out, their backs are to us. They're not worried about us. So he's like, all right, come on. Like, we're going to walk. And then once we get past the store where they can't see him, like, we're not in their view, we're going to sprint. And I kid you not, like before we do it, and before we can take off, here comes a fucking APD car.
Oh, hey, got him.
No, look, I swear, look, it gets good. Here he comes flying, sirens and everything. And my brother's like, don't stop. So I'm like, we keep walking. He passes us. He goes right there to where they're at. So we're like, what the? Come on, we got to go. So we go. We try to get on the bus. I don't know for what. I don't remember exactly why, but that didn't work. It didn't happen. I don't know why, but we didn't get on the bus. So we start walking around. We're from the east side, like I said, you know what I'm saying? But at this point in time, the way we're walking, we're all the way in the south side now. So, and I'm familiar with the south side, like through vehicle, but not like on foot. You know what I mean? Even like through a bus, but not on foot. So, yeah, so we just end up, well, I think we went to like a Chili's or some shit, and we sat down and, you know,
at least you had money in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly right. And we were young as, you know, we in there eating good and fucking ordering desserts, and like, you know, we were young. We're like, man, we don't know what's going on. Like, we know they got jammed up, and that's all we know right now. Mm-hmm. So my brother ends up calling his other homeboy. You know what I'm saying? And he ends up coming to get us. And like, fast forward, we're at a gas station. He's putting gas, and we're asking him, hey, have you talked to such and such? And he's like, nah, but he texted me like hours ago after everything had went down. He's like, man, he texted me hours ago asking for the Rolex back. And we're like, what you mean he texted you? And he shows us the text, and we see like the context of the text is like, man, he doesn't talk like that. Like, what's like, man, and he told him something like, I'm not going to give you the Rolex. I'll give you something else, or I don't remember exactly. But so then we're at the gas station. We're at a Valero. And he's pumping gas, but the windows are like cracked, and his phone goes off. So he answers his phone, and like all we hear is like screaming, but like it sounds like somebody like, you know, like in distress. So we're like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, what's going on? And I can't make out what was said, but when he got in the car, he told us that it was his mom. And she was saying, man, like all these cops are over here at my house. They're looking for you. What did you do? So by then we already knew that the first guy, you know what I'm saying?
Told.
Yeah, like it can't, it like, yeah, like he said something, you know, we don't know what he said, but he said something for them to go directly to this dude's house.
And then he texts them, so it's like
exactly. So long story short, we end up going back to the east side because they still lived in the east side on the other side of the train tracks. So we go to his mom's house, and you know, his girlfriend's in there, whatever. Long story short, like it's like a whole cry party. Everybody's in there crying. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as them,
Yeah.
they're in there crying and
Because the cops came.
Right. But they left and they were like, "Don't worry about it. Like he's not here. He's not coming right now. We're not gonna wait on him. But tomorrow he needs to come in to the station, give a statement." So they're crying about that. Ooh, I just remember being there, and then his mom ends up like first she was like crying and spazzing, and then she looks at me and my brother, and then she's like, "Y'all need to leave. Like y'all gotta go." And so we're just like, all right, again, like that's not my people, that's my brother's people. So my brother tells him like, hey, you know what it is. We finna dip. So we dip, and we're like pretty much like laying low. We're on the run. We already ran away from home. So,
I know, I was about to say that.
So we couldn't go home. You know what I'm saying? So we're really thugging like
by yourselves. And how old is your brother?
Right now,
well,
at the time, I want to say 16. Yeah, 16 going on 17. Because whenever we got jammed up, he didn't go to juvenile. He went to adult because he was 17 then.
Oh, got it.
So, or he was about to turn 17. I can't really remember too much. But yeah, where was I at? I'm sorry.
That you guys, you were on the run.
Oh yeah. So we're pretty much on the run, like, and my cousin. So like the street we grew up on, it was my grandma's, it was my dad's mom, the neighbors, our house, my mom, my dad's house, the neighbors, and my uncle. So one of my cousins, he was staying with my grandma, and so we called him, we let him know what's going on, whatever. So he's like looking out for us, so we're like pretty much like, like living in his car, what I'm saying. But we're still like we got money though, so we're still buying weed, we're still buying.
That's all you cared about.
Yeah, that's all we cared about. We were young, like we were just like, man, we'll stay out the way for a minute, and things will die down. It is what it is. But yeah, so we probably did that for like about, I want to say like a solid 2 weeks, if not 2 weeks,
God.
like right before.
Hey, that's a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially because you guys are so young.
Yeah, and then and then it's crazy too, because the day that me and my brother like kind of like decide, like we like talk to each other and decide like, man, I think we're okay. Like we can pop out, we can go home. Whatever.
See what happens.
Yeah, that same day, the cops had already went to the high school that we were supposed to be at, but we were never at. So they went there looking for us, but we weren't there. So then they just like staked out on the house, pretty much.
At your mom's.
At my mom's. And I kid you not, we're walking. My brother doesn't have the best eyes, you know what I'm saying? Like to this day, he's like as blind as a bat. So, but there was an Impala parked like down the road, right under a tree, just sitting in front of an abandoned house. And we're like, the area we live in is kind of like rugged. So we're like,
it.
I'm like, man, like what's going on? And he's like, man, like, can you see? Like, he's like, look, cause I can't see. So I'm looking, right. We're high though. So I'm like, man, I don't see. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, hey, but it's real though. Like, so I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, I don't see nobody, bro. So he's like, all right, nobody's home though. You know what I'm saying? My mom's at work, my other brother's at school, and my little sister is at middle school. You know what I'm saying? It was probably around like 1 p.m. She'll get off around 3. So we're like, man, we'll just wait in the backyard until she gets here. And yeah, so we're waiting in the backyard, and next thing you know, we hear the gate being opened. So we're like, oh shit, like we're thinking like it's like one of our parents, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of get up and we run to the other side of the house. And yeah, when they came around there, they was like probably like 8 to 10 deep, like, get on the fucking ground. Me and my brother like hesitate, because like we were young, but we were young, and whenever before something goes down, like you have like an idea of what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I've ran from the laws before, but that time, like like my brother, he just, I don't know, like he didn't have no more fight in him, I guess.
He was tired already.
He was
probably.
tired, yeah, he was tired for sure. And I'm like, run without him, so we end up like laying it down or whatever, and then they locked us up, took us separate ways and shit.
How did you feel when they put you guys in the car? Because this is probably like your actual first time.
Right, yeah, first time actually like being like in the back of a car arrested and stuff. Honestly, I didn't really like it. Didn't really feel real. Like it didn't feel real. Like it was, I don't know how to explain it. It didn't feel real. I was so young, and I'm just like, dang. But then once I realized like we weren't going to the same place, I'm like, oh damn.
Excuse me, my brother.
Like, yeah, like like, because like the laws were pretty much, like they're trying to they're trying to break me already right there. Like, oh yeah, like y'all not going to the same place. He's going over there where the adults go, but you're going to where the kids go. Okay, whatever. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't have nothing to say to you. You know what I'm saying? All the information you have on me is what you got on your paper.
And that's
my
it.
name, my, everything that I'm accused of. So that's all you know. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up getting locked up or whatever. And I probably spent, like, I think I was in there for Christmas and New Year's. And then, like, after New Year's, like a couple days after New Year's, like, because I was a juvenile. So they released me, like, to my parents under, like, their supervision and stuff. And but my brother, like, he didn't get that opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about those 2 weeks that you were there. How was it for you? Like, did your mom go see
And
you?
juvenile?
Yeah. Because
Right.
before they picked you up.
Right. I don't remember too
Kind of
much.
like
I'm
a
pretty
blur,
sure.
huh? Like a blur?
I'm pretty sure though. I remember having what you call it? What are they called? Lawyer visits.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like visitation with your lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Figuring out X, Y, and Z. But 2 weeks not really that long.
No, yeah.
time, you know what I'm saying? But I just remember seeing him a lot. You know what I'm saying? That was a white guy. He was a court-appointed lawyer too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he wasn't really.
So when you went
important.
home, like, how was your mom?
My mom was like, and I don't know. Like looking at it now, I don't know if it was like a good thing. Like at the time, like I understood it, and I was like, man, I appreciate you understanding. Like I made this decision, and I'm dealing with it like with the law. So you don't have to just, beat my ass and try to make me do all these damn chores. You know what I'm saying? I'm already being punished. You know what I'm saying? But like my pops was like, nah, like he wasn't having it. Like he was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he's been to prison. So he's seeing like, his baby boy, like, cause I'm the third son. He's seeing me like, I'm going down this path that he's already been on. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it now. At the time, I didn't understand it. So I couldn't stand him. Like, what the fuck? Like,
How dare you?
Yeah, like,
while
you know
you're
what I
in
mean?
and out.
Exactly. Like, what the hell? So, but it, it all made sense and stuff. And now looking back on it, you know what I'm saying? It definitely makes sense. But yeah, no, my mom wasn't really like, of course she was upset and stuff. You know
Kind
what I'm
of
saying?
hurt,
Yeah,
probably.
she was like, she just like wanted. Like, like after they let me out, she's like, okay, like, you're going to be all right. Like, you just need to do everything they say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. And so, it was like a slap on the wrist. So I don't think I really took it too serious. You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out of my school because of my charges. So I had to go to that alternative learning center that I was going to in middle school. I had to go there like full time now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And over there is like dress code and it's whack.
Even more rules.
Man, yeah, like it's trash. So so like it was just too much. But like I was still fighting my case and whatever, but I'm in the world.
And how long did you fight your case for?
Man, I want to say maybe like for the juvenile, like 3-4 months.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
like nothing crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I was fighting it from the world, so it didn't really feel like
And your
nothing.
brother was inside.
But my brother was inside. Yeah, like since he got locked up December of 2011 or 2012, he has not been outside yet since.
You're
know what I mean?
kidding.
No, I swear. Just he's actually coming up on parole. If it's not this December, it's next December.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, God willing, he comes home.
No, yeah, we hope so, man. We hope so. Because that first parole was already his 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the case that you guys.
For the case, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll ask a little more questions right now, shortly. So you're going to court, right? And what was the charge again?
Aggravated robbery.
Okay.
I ended up taking a plea deal. So it was a bunch. It was aggravated robbery, aggravated kidnapping, home invasion.
That's what, because of the home invasion and the kidnapping.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, but I ended up pleading out. Like I pled guilty to the
No, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's just what it is, you know?
ag robbery, and they dropped all the other extra shit.
Got it.
So, in my eyes, it was a win. You know what I'm saying? And from what my lawyer was telling me, what he was gassing me up with, it was a win. But in the end, it kind of, at the end of the day, I made that decision, so I myself over. But he definitely I don't know. It just didn't go the way it was supposed to. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because it's not supposed to go anywhere at the end of the day. You're doing a bad thing.
But for somebody to sit in your face and tell you like, oh man, like you're gonna be all right, like, you know what I mean?
I get-
then
you mean
I'm
like
a
the lawyer.
kid,
Yeah,
like, and then
yeah,
I'm a kid at the same time. So, you know, like at this point, like, oh, like you pulling up on me with a suit and tie and a briefcase, like I'm believing anything you're telling me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you fought it for like 3-4 months. You were outside. You were doing what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I was on probation. I wasn't necessarily doing what I was supposed to do. I went in front of a judge for a review, and she was like, pretty much like, you know, I don't understand how the last judge released you just to your parents. You don't have an ankle monitor. You don't have a curfew. None of that. Like, this is weird, whatever. But she was like, but we're just going to keep going with it, whatever. She was like, all I ask is that you go to school. And I was like, you know, me being a kid, I'm like, okay, you just want me to show up. So I'm going to show up and I'm going to act the ass every single day. And so that's what I did, you know, just doing dumb shit. The two of my teachers from that ALC, that time period, when I went and had like my mini trial, like they came and spoke on my behalf.
In a positive manner.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. Miss Bonda and Mr. Hunt. I'll never forget that shit. They came in there and slandered me. Made me seem like
You're the worst of the worst.
What? And I was just like, man, all I doing was being a class clown. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to have fun because it's so strict over there. Like, you know, like
Wow.
you got to walk with your hands behind your back when you're going somewhere. Can't talk. You can't like, man.
Like if you might as well just keep me in juvenile hall.
Exactly. So I was just like, man, you know, I'm gonna have fun. Like we're gonna laugh. I'm not gonna be serious all day. Like we're gonna laugh.
Yeah. So what happens in sentencing?
What do you mean for
When you got sentenced?
Oh, when I got okay, so yeah, so then okay, look, well let me go back. So I ended up going to that school, and I'm for like 3-4 months. I'm just thugging. I'm like, man, I'm bullying these teachers. Like, you know, like they I don't appreciate them going and speaking on me, but I'm terrorizing them. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. To me at the time it was funny until they went in that courtroom and you know,
there you go.
that's the guy that did this and that, and you know, like I'm talking about as far as like throwing textbooks at them when
You're
their backs to the wall, when their
kidding.
backs is to us.
Oh,
yeah, like
you're
I'm
bad,
Yeah,
bro.
no, I was tripping.
Oh, you were tripping hard.
But everybody around me was so funny. You know what I mean? So
Bro.
yeah,
That is bad.
yeah. So I really could have got like more assault charges and stuff, but you know, it didn't happen like that. But
I'm tying my son up, but that fool does some stupid shit like that. I don't give a fucking tying your ass down.
Yeah.
Call Popo, fool.
God damn. No, but yeah, so yeah, I ended up going to that little sentencing or whatever, and like I said, the judge gave me 10, but she probated it, so she gave me 2 years at the facility. So then, boom, immediately that started, and I started to get like 6-month reviews. Yeah, so the first 6 months, you know, I went in, and I kind of already knew, like, you know, I'm not going home on this one. Second one came around, and I'm like, okay, that's 50%. You know, I've heard about that because, you know, all of my family's been to prison. So I've heard about the 50% shit. Still didn't get that one. You know, I ended up, like I said, I ended up doing 23 months. And the only reason I don't count the last one is because I was in a halfway house.
Yeah, but you're still in, low key.
But yeah,
like,
but you know, you get those passes
yeah,
and stuff, but
I
that
get it.
shit's trash.
So
too.
when you had it, because you had to turn yours, they took you from court.
Yeah. No. They took me from school. I ended up disturbing a testing, like they were trying to test.
You're just annoying then.
Yeah, no, really, yeah, really though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's mommy looking like, you know, it's like, oh my goodness.
No, for sure, hell yeah. So, you know, they ended up like, you know, hey, like he's over here acting an ass. He violated his probation. Come pick him up. So my PO and, you know, the cops, they come to pick me up. They take me. And I'm like, whatever, you know, they'll let me back out. But no, they ended up rushing the process on my sentencing.
Get this fool out of here.
Yeah. And then they were like, yeah, 2 years. So, yeah. So I started that. And, you know, and of course, like, you know, like, just like I was a fucking clown, like class clown, like in the world, like it was the same thing in there. Like I'm like, now you done got me with the worst of my age group. You know what I mean? Like, we got to turn it up just a little bit more.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
and so basically, when you got in there, it was easy for you to adjust.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of them dudes, you know what I'm saying? You see them come in like, cause so they got the juvenile, like they got the detention, and then they got the residential. So like most of the dudes that was in residential was in and out of the detention. So you were already seeing them all the time. You knew who was who, you know what I mean?
Got it.
So whenever they got sentenced and they got sent to residential, like you know who they are, you know what I mean? So we all know each other.
So residential was kind of like the mini prison for you guys.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Yeah. Like your TYC.
Like I was about to say like the youth authority kind of thing. Got it.
Yeah.
So that's where you went for those 2 years. And were you fighting?
Oh, most definitely.
Doing it.
Most
What would you
definitely
say was like the craziest thing you experienced while being in there?
I actually got snuck with tray. A tray in the chow hall.
In the face or where?
Hell yeah, like right here in my face. Yep. Blindsided, just boom.
Dang.
Over
said,
like the stupidest shit.
It's how it goes.
Yeah.
So that's like the craziest thing you probably experienced while being in there.
Like I mean, like as far as like that, you know what I mean? Like there's been like crazy ass fights, you know.
Yeah, but
shit
fights
like
are
that.
fights.
But you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like as far as crazy, like I feel like, man, you know, everybody's like in that area, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like, don't get me wrong, it's a few, you know, like here and there that like, you know, probably don't want to fight, but like for somebody that like, you know, wants to fight, like
Let's get it.
Like you call me out, we can fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care about nothing. I don't give a rat, nothing, especially at that time. So for you to just sneak me like that was crazy. You could have just called me out. You know what I mean? But yeah, we ended, you know, we actually had to get that after that too. So yeah, yeah.
And you obviously had to go to school while you were there.
Yeah, that's mandatory.
And so that was 2 years. Your mom used to go visit you?
My mom used to.
Did you have any of your little girlfriends write you?
Yes.
Why are you laughing?
Yeah,
Tell me about that. Your little girlfriends writing you. Because you're young. You're 13, 14 years old.
Right. Okay, so excuse me. She's actually my son's mother now. But
so you've been with her since you were like 13, 14.
We've been dealing with each other since way back. You know what I'm saying? Our lifestyles were just always different. You know what I mean? Like the way she was brought up and the way I was brought up. You know what I'm saying? Was way different. Like, and you know what I'm saying? Like she's from the south side. I'm from the east side. You know what I'm saying? Her parents are still together to this day. You know what I'm saying? My parents, no. So, you know, like it was just, you know.
She likes the thugs.
I don't know, but it's just completely different. You know what I mean? But yeah, she definitely came to see me. Her mom definitely brought her up there to see me.
Oh, that was very nice.
Yeah, that was.
Because like, you know, you're bringing your little daughter to go visit this fool in jail. Like, bro, that's like.
But you know, like I had people to like vouch for me. You know what I'm saying? Because like outside of like all that, like, you know, like
you're a good boy.
Yeah, like guys, like I'm like this with kids and guys that's my age, but like, you know, for the women, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, manners, you're respectful.
Yeah, like, you know, I love my mama, you know what I'm saying? I got a little sister, I got cousins and stuff, so I'm very respectful of women, you know what I mean? The right women. But
this fool.
Just come on, you know, you gotta put it out there.
Yeah, you know I understand completely. Yeah, I do know the way some women could. I'm a woman myself, you know. Don't push me because I'm gonna be a ugly woman. I'm nice. I'm very nice, but you know, it's like, but there is like those women that are super ghetto, like those are the ones like, bro, come down.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So she would go visit you.
Yeah, she would come and visit me. Not like often, you know what I'm saying? Just like once in a blue moon, and you know, I mean, it was appreciated. I was a kid.
But she would write letters.
Yeah, write me letters, send me pictures, all kinds of stuff.
Why do you smile like that?
I can't smile. My bad.
That's how you go back. I mean, it's cute.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just funny to actually think about it. Like, yeah, because now here I am, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mother of my son, my first son. It's kind of crazy.
That's cool though.
It is though.
It's cool. I mean, that's what life is about, creating these memories, no matter what memories they are. And obviously, you know, she was there since you were young, and that means a lot. I mean, at least for me, like when I've been incarcerated, for somebody being there for me means a lot, you know?
Right. No, most
now,
definitely.
Their behavior after, that shit could dismiss everything.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
sure. Most definitely. That shit get out the window.
But it's like right now you're sitting here and you're like, damn, okay, like, you know?
I mean, real recognize real, you know what I'm saying? Like, for sure.
So that's how it was for you. How fast did those 2 years go?
Oh, man, honestly, like looking back on it, it went fast. But like at the time being in there, no, it was like slow as I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? So it was pretty slow for me. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty slow for sure. I just remember, oh man, I hated like the holidays come around. That shit was like trash. Like, just, you know, like
you get sad, you get depressed. You're a kid, you want to be with your family. All of a sudden, you want to be with your family, you know?
Yeah, but when you're out,
you don't even want to be home. You want to go smoke some weed with your friends.
You want to be in the streets.
Yeah.
So
you got out 2 years after.
Yeah, so I got out, right? And so I ended up like right before I got out, I had went through like this I was already like what? I was already like 16, about to be 17, you know what I'm saying? So I started getting into like the whole like, okay, like, you know, like it's time to, you know, like women, like, cause you know, like there's female guards that work there, you know what I'm saying? And I see how they interact with, you know, the people that was acting like how I was acting at the beginning. You know, and they can't stand them. So it was like, it was more of a reason for me to like, okay, yeah, it's time to chill out. And like, I swear they used to always, like, that would be the reason why the women would come and approach me when I was in juvenile. So I was like, oh man, I got to stick with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, for real, it was working, you know? And yeah, so I kind of just started calming down and stuff. And then, you know, I started like, cause you got like group coordinators and stuff. Yeah, programming and stuff. So like the group coordinator and everything, he was like, man, like you're doing like very good. Like you turned it all around 360. Like, man, like me, your PO, and like a couple of these other people are like actually like if you keep it up, we're willing to go in on your court hearing when you're turning 18 to age out to say like, hey, like, you know, we can like cut his like expunge this record, like close it, let him.
Damn.
Yeah. So, you know, so I had a chance, you know what I mean? And you know, I tried, like, you know, I started switching it up and, you know, just staying out the way more, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm still you know, I'm still me, so I'm still thugging, but like, you know, it just wasn't getting caught. Like a lot of shit just couldn't get a reaction out of me. Now, if it was just like it needed to happen, then it needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't gonna try to just crash out about it. So yeah, I ended up getting out, going to halfway house. They told me to finish school. I actually ended up graduating high school after that. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Because like they made you go to school. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't go to school, then you just ass sick.
Like what are you doing?
Yeah, all day. You know what I'm saying? And that shit gets old. You know what I'm saying? Because I tried it. I tried to say, man, I'm just ain't going.
Yeah.
It gets old. You know what I mean? Being in them walls and just don't come out for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it gets old real quick. So, you know, I started going to school and then I'm not even gonna lie to you, like, you know, I pretty much like cheated like my way through all of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I caught that case when I was a sophomore going into being a junior. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like I was behind, like I told you, like I was borderline, like already crashing out and dropping out in fucking ninth grade. So I was way behind. But I ended up like, you know, like finessing it, like with the credit recovery stuff, classes and stuff. And
they make it easier for you in there.
No, for sure. I mean, I had it real easy. I'm not gonna lie to you. One of the tutors in there, she like took a real liking to me. So I was able to get free world food, the answers to all kinds of, yeah, like I had my way. I had my way for sure in the juvenile center for sure. So, but yeah, so that like set me up to go home and everything. And that was like around the time when I was like, man, you know what? It's time to chill out. So, you know, I'm finna go home. Like, let me go and graduate. And, you know what I'm saying? Really like make my mama proud. Like I already put her through all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're thinking you know smarter. I mean? For real. You're getting older, maturing.
So I did that though. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how it happened, it happened. I graduated
You did it.
for my mama. You know what I'm saying? I went and graduated for sure. For sure. I remember going into prison, like, because they ask you, like, they evaluate you and they ask you all kinds of questions, like, do you got your GED or high school diploma? And I was like, high school diploma. And like the women used to be like, what? You graduated high school? I'm like, yeah. Like, man, that dude over there, he's fucking 50, he's 40, he's 30. Like, none of them graduated. None of these people right here, like, you know, I was like, what? Like, man, I did it for my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't want to do it for myself, I did it for her. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, for sure.
So you went to the halfway house.
Went to the halfway house, start going on passes. All that shit was like, that shit was driving me crazy.
It's kind of more stressful being in the halfway house.
Yeah, because you start to get freedom, right? Like in bits and pieces, like not how you want it. You know what I mean? And like, I hated that shit. You had to go through like their program. You know what I mean? So like my first outing like was like 8 hours. I was able to go and be with my family for 8 hours and then had to come back. So on the way back, that was a trash ass drive. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, like
instead of being appreciative,
you know what I mean?
Like, damn, okay.
But I was like, man, what? Like 8 hours, like. And, you know, like nobody, and in those halfway houses, nobody stops you from running. Like I was in there and people were like, you don't even call run it out. You walk out. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm just out of here.
Like, I'm gone. You take your stuff and you're gone. You know what I mean? Like we used to make fun of people that would go out of their windows Like the laws would even make fun of him. Like, like this fucking idiot. He went out the window when he could have went out this front door. We weren't gonna stop him. But I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And I definitely thought about it a few times, especially around like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and stuff. Like, what you mean I can only go for 12 hours? 16 hours, 24 hours. Like, no, like, what the hell? Like, let me go the whole weekend or something. Like,
those aren't the rules, though.
I know.
I know, it's my life.
But I was like, man. And I remember, like, there was a few times, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, shout out to my mama because, you know, she put up with a lot and she coached me through a lot. But, like, around that time, she was just like, you know, she would just tell me, like, she would see it on me. Like, she would know, like, that like, disobedient, like, you know what I'm saying,
like you're ready
boy
to
was
just
still
like
in there, so she would just be like, me was almost over, like, you know what I mean, like after you get the 24 hours, then you get the 36, then 48, then 72, like, and then the 72 is the last one.
Like,
and I was just like, man, for what? Like, I'll just hide, I can just run and hide, and you know what I mean, take my chances, like. But, you know, she talked me, like, into not doing that, so I didn't. So I completed that, too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I completed that, too. And then on my 18th birthday, that's when they...
What happened?
Man, I did everything they asked me to, right? I was doing all of it. I graduated. I completed the halfway house. I was even taking classes that they wanted me to take that I knew I didn't like. Man, what you mean? I don't have a problem with none of this stuff. Like, I was, NA and AA? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the NA, okay, I do smoke gas, but, like... The AA, like, I wasn't even drinking like that. Like, why am I in this classroom with, you know, these people? Like, so it's just weird. And then, so I did all that. And then when it came to my 18th, like, to turn over, like, all these people, my own probation officer got on the stand and, like, spoke on my behalf and was like, man, hey, like, you know, like, I've seen this kid, like, grow up pretty much. And, like, if it's anybody that deserves a second chance, it's him. Literally, everybody got on the stand on my behalf said the same thing. If anybody deserves a second chance, it's him. Only person that didn't was my my victim. He's the only one that, you know, he slandered me and, you know, he did what he did, which is understandable. But yeah, so then they were like, okay. So they took a recess, and I remember, you know, like biting my nails and shit. And then when they came back, I was like, you know, everybody's like, you know, you're all right. It's going to be all right. Like, I don't see this going any other way. So, like, literally, whenever they said, like, yeah, we're going to transfer you over to adult, like, when she banged in and said that, like, everybody was like, what? Like, everybody was confused. I remember like, when we were walking out, like, you know, because, like, it wasn't like I had to go to jail. Like, it was just like, you know, I was going to be transferred over to, like, adult probation and shit. And so I had to go out there and take a new picture and do all this and that. And I remember doing it all. And I was just like, you know, I'm in court, like, dressed nice. I'm shirt untucked, unbuttoned.
You're
like,
pissed now.
Oh, now I'm like, yeah, y'all done woke the old me back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready for somebody to come and say something crazy to me, and I'm crashing out right here. But, you know, my mom's like, it's going to be all right. You know, she calmed me down. And, yeah, I remember I left there, and immediately I went to go get high. After being clean for, like, you know, probably like going on like Yellow's 2.5 years, just clean. And then finally I was like, fuck that. And I remember going to my cousin and he didn't want to let me. He was like, no. And I was like, I'm a grown ass man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, either you gonna smoke with me or I'm gonna go smoke by myself, you know what I'm saying? Or somewhere else. So he was like, man, all right. So we smoked. So my very first piss test going to adult probation was dirty. Yeah, immediately. So that caused all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, oh, you got to take these classes and do this. And,
but you never went back to prison.
No, I ended up going to prison. Yeah, ended up going to prison when I was 19. I probably did the probation thing for about like 9 months to a year, probably like a little under a year, like 11, somewhere between 9 and 11 months. And then I ended up, what happened? I think that's when I caught my dope case.
Okay.
Yeah. So then
is that what you were doing? That's where you were working?
Mm-hmm. You know, it kind of got to the point, like, you know, I got to that point in my life where I was just like, you know, like, shit, hey, I tried to do what y'all wanted me to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't work. So just go back to what I know. And, you know, because I always been a hustler, like, you know, like, even though, like, I went and kicked the dough, like, that ain't never been, like, my main thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, that's just my brother, you know, my blood brother. So it was like, You know, I
You went
wasn't
with him.
You know, I wasn't gonna let him go in. I mean, clearly, look what happened. You know what I'm saying? He went in with these 2 clowns, and that shit happened. So, you know, I'm just glad that we was together. You know what I mean? Because if anybody was gonna have his back through the whole situation, it was me. You know what I mean? And he knows that too. Everybody knows that. So yeah.
So you're 19. You're over it already. You're like, this shit ain't working.
Shit.
I'm gonna start doing what I know.
Started thugging. Started my PO, she started like bitching about these classes, and I was just like, you know, like at the time I was hustling, so I was just like, okay, like how much? Like, I think it was like probation is like $60 a month. So you know, I was hustling, so I would be like, I would go in with my money order, and you know, she would be bitching like, oh, you need to be going to these classes, and woo woo. If you don't, and I'd be like, oh, okay, like here's a money order for 300. I know I'm only supposed to give you 60, but you know, I'm giving you like a couple months in advance, and so like that kind of like
Threw her off.
okay, like, okay, it's fine. Like, you know, like she got off my back for a little bit. But then when it came down to it, like she was like, no, you need to start. And I remember she compared me. I said, man, I don't understand why I got so much time left on probation. Why do I have to do those drug classes right now? You know what I'm saying? Like I can do them whenever. And I remember she told me, I swear to God, I'll never forget this. She was like, we don't wait. We don't let a heroin addict wait for the right time to get help. And I'm like, bitch,
I never even used drugs.
I pissed dirty for weed. Like, do you know who you're talking to right now? I know you deal with a lot of people, but like, y'all only got me for weed ever in my life. Like, what? So it was just crazy. But then, yeah, so then I kind of just, you know, started getting a little more reckless again. And that's when I caught my dope case. I'm a manufacturer with intent to deliver.
By yourself.
By myself.
Okay.
Yeah, by my damn self.
Which is great. Always by yourself is the best.
Right.
I mean, you shouldn't have been doing anything at all.
Right.
But
Most definitely.
if you do, by yourself.
Most definitely. But yeah, no, so I caught that case and then, yeah, so then I sat in county. I fought that for about
And this
6
was your
months.
first time in county.
First time in county. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
because now you're an adult, you're in
Yep.
the county. How was that experience for you?
Everybody that I told you about seeing in the
Oh,
juvenile.
they were there.
They were there.
Okay, so
Not
it's like you're
everybody,
back,
but majority.
It's like you're back to
That
with your
and-
friends from when you were in,
Not necessarily just friends, but people like, you know, like we see you, I know you, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know you're from the south side. I know you're from the north side. You know, I don't remember your name, but I know what like
We've
what,
seen each other.
What hood you're from and shit, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you kind of just, damn, what happened to you? You know what I mean? And y'all kind of just click up like that, you know? But then I mean, obviously, like there's like older men and, you know, people that already been to the pen, probably on their way back, old schools, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was just everybody, you know? But I mean, like, I feel like the juvenile shit, like, kind of like, it was already like preparing you for that, you know what I mean? In a sense. So it wasn't like, you know, I went in and was like, man, I don't know how this is going to be, like I already knew, you know what I mean? Like,
How are the prison, I'm going to say, like, how's the prison, like, gangs for you guys in Texas? Do you get what I'm saying?
right. I know it's a lot different out here.
Yeah, very, very different.
I mean, honestly, it just depends on like who you are and like what you're claiming. You know what I mean? Like if, like, cause you know, I know like out here is like very like racial and stuff, right? Like certain races can't be certain things, but like in Texas, it's not like that. You know what I mean? Like especially if you're white, Mexican, or whatever, and you're, you know, a black gang member, like, you know what I'm saying? As long as somebody knows you for real and they know you really like that, like from the world, like you were doing this in the world, then it's like somewhat okay. It's condoned. You know what I mean? But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure there's people that like, you know, feel some type of way about it. But, you know, I mean, if they vouching for you, then, you know.
What about you?
What do you mean?
Well, like, is there like, you know, like, were you part of like a black gang?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay. You're not a gang member?
I was just, no, ma'am. No, never.
Okay.
I just been chilling. I've
Okay.
always been a hustler, so like I never really had trouble with
Got
none
it.
of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I just
Right.
want to
No,
ask.
I get it, you know. But I definitely seen a lot, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, the neighborhoods that I grew up were mostly like black and Mexican. So
Got
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
So like, you know, if I fucked with them, you know what I mean? If they looked out for me, I looked out for them.
As it
Simple that.
should be, you know?
Simple as that.
So you're there, you're in the county, you're just like, here we go again. You know, you got it. Now you have this new case and you violated your probation as well. So,
Oh yeah, let me say about
that's
that.
like, honestly, I feel like violating the probation is so much worse than freaking your case.
No, really though, because like you can catch a new case. You can catch a new case, but and you don't necessarily, just because you're on probation, you don't have to go to the pen. You know what I'm saying? You can, like, you just have to get your probation reinstated, and then they run it concurrent.
Mm-hmm.
So of course that's what I went for. It didn't work out like that though.
And it never worked out for you like that, huh?
Fuck no. Man, I always had the worst luck. I swear, I always had the worst luck. I used to, like, I remember being in Juvenile, and like, you know, you ask people, what are you in here for? And I'm like, you know, they ask me, aggravated robbery. What about you? Oh, aggravated robbery. This your first time? Yeah, this is my first time too. Yeah, my lawyer said I'm gonna go home. Oh, okay, bet. So, he's going home? Oh, okay, I got action. No, not you. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, he got the same thing as me? Like, what's going on? Like, but it just, I don't know. It's always been like that. You know what I'm saying? I guess it was just like, it was written for me to go through all the shit that I went through. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so then whenever I was in county, I fought my case for like 6 months, and I really kind of fucked myself over, cause so like the way it went, like, I was on probation. So like, as an adult, I was never really like convicted for what I was convicted when I was juvenile. You know what I'm saying? It was weird. It was like a weird situation. So the max they could have gave me on the 10 years that they gave me, but they probated, was 8 years, right? But you know, I had ended up getting this lawyer, you know what I'm saying, and I thought she was gonna. Really, she did her part. She did her part. I just was being young, and
you wanted more.
Yeah, I wanted more. I remember she came, and at first the offer was like, it didn't even make sense, because the max was 8 and the offer was like 12 or something, and I'm like, yeah, y'all smoking crack? Like, I'm not doing that. So she's like, okay, that's just the first offer though. I'm like, yeah, I know not to ever take that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, if you ever
never take
that first one. But so then she comes back, and I think I don't remember how it went exactly, but I remember there was like it was like 6 on the ag charge and 5 on the dope case. And I was like, and ran concurrent. So I was like,
what is happening?
Man, I was like, hold on now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all started at 12. Like, so I told her, I was like, look, go in there. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I know like a little bit, or at least I thought I knew a little bit, as far as like the Mandel charges, you know what I'm saying? Like the little, you know, you can get in and out of, like, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. So, like bear with me. Like,
we learn as we're going through the process.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get me, you know, especially like when I was in there, they started putting the kiosks in there. So you can go and look at the law library, and, you know, you can look at your own stuff, like, and it's crazy. So, you know, you just like teach yourself kind of. So yeah, I'm like, man, you know, like the minimum for this is 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And y'all jumping to 5. When I know y'all can give me the minimum, right? And this and the minimum for my ag is 5. So I told her, she came and was like, look, this is the last offer, 6 and 5. And I was like, man, look, they already came down from the 12. I said, just go in there and say this. Tell them 5 on this, 3 on that, concurrent. I'll sign right now. Yeah, and shit. When she came back, she was like, and I'm like, what's up? And she's like, yeah, the 6 and the 5, yeah, that offer's off the table now. She's like, yeah, like, you pissed them off. I'm like, man, what's up now? So she's like, yeah, now they want you to do 8 on both. And I'm like, man, like, are you serious? Like, I'm like, man. I'm like trying to tell her, man, go in there and tell them I'll do the 6 and the 5 right now. She's like, it doesn't work like that. She's like, and this is like for real, the official last final offer. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't take this, then you're going to have to go to like a mini trial. And then, of course, they're going to try to hit you with the max.
Oh, yeah.
Which was somehow, that's what I'm saying. It didn't make sense. So the most they could have gave me was 8 on the ag, but for the Mandel, they could have maxed me out however they wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it didn't make sense, you know. So I'm like, all right. So, you know, I had to sign for that.
So you signed for 8 and 6?
No, 8 and 8.
8 and 8.
8 and 8.
Concurrent or no?
Concurrent.
Okay.
Concurrent. Yeah. So shit was crazy.
So what happened?
Yeah. So I signed for that. My bad. I'm just like in my head.
You're there.
Like,
you're there right
you know
now.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So I signed for that shit. I waited about a month. Caught chain, and I was in TDC. I was in prison wearing all white.
TDC is what is the actual?
Texas Department of Correction.
Got it.
Yeah. So I was in TDC a month later.
And how was it when you walked in there? Like, you know, you're going on the drive, you're sitting there.
It wasn't nothing too crazy, because, like, you know, in your pod there's like maybe like 80 people, 80 inmates, you know what I'm saying? At least 3 of y'all are going down that road, you know what I'm saying? So You know, once you find out, okay, whatever, cool. You know what I'm saying? We all from the same city. You know what I'm saying? I think I went down there with a dude named Mark, and he was actually from my hood. So, you know, and he knew my brothers and shit. But like, you know, so we just kind of like, you know, we clicked and everything or whatever. But we went down there and like immediately got separated. But like, you know, it's. I mean, it wasn't nothing like crazy, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, as soon as you hit like the camp and everything, like, you know, people want to know who you are. They want to know what you're in there for, you know? It's like normal shit. I feel
Do
like.
you have to show your like paperwork as well?
If you don't have your paperwork on you, then you know what I'm saying, they want to they'll just run your ID. You know what I'm saying? So, it's nothing to like literally get on the phone and tell your people, "Hey, look this number up," and they'll find out everything. You know what I mean?
Got it.
But yeah, but if you smart, like, you know, I had already, like I said, you know, a majority of my family's been to prison, so I already knew, like,
what you
know,
do.
keep your paperwork on you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody play with you. You know what I'm saying? Mind your business. And you know what I'm saying? If anybody disrespects you, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, so no, it wasn't really like.
So it went pretty smooth for you.
For the most part, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I had my fair share of fights and shit. You know what I mean? But
what was the craziest thing? How long did you do anyways?
6.5.
Oh, okay. So you did the 6.5. How? Go ahead.
No, yeah, I did the 6.5 in there, and then I was just having a conversation the other day about it. I had got 3 years set offs, like 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Or no, 1 year, 1 year, and then I made the third one, right? But I got 2 1 year set offs. And then I made
what is
the
a
third
set
one.
off?
A set off is like pretty much like, so if you come in front of the parole board, right? Say you got 10 years, right? You got to do 5. You won't see me until you do 5. And as soon as you do 5, depending on your behavior and on really just on how I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying? I either grant you parole or I set you off until next year or the next.
Oh,
you know
well, that sucks.
Yeah, no, it's trash. It's trash. So, you know, my brother, like right now, he came up on his 10 and he got a 3-year set off.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, you know,
it's part of what.
Just, you know, so if you're not chilling, you're not trying to like show that you're trying to do something, like, you know, then they gonna blame you every time. They gonna fuck you every time. Yeah. So
I understand that. How many different prisons did you go to?
Let me see. I immediately I was on Huntsville Holiday. Then I transferred from there to Beaumont, Larry Gist. I was there for like 2-3 months. And I don't know about Cali, but in Texas, you got to do 24 months on a transfer unit before you can touch like a real ID unit.
Okay.
Right.
Like mainly, like basically saying you got to go to a reception to hit the main, yard.
Yeah. Like, cause they won't just throw you out there like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you just, as soon as you hit your transfer, like my brother, he got shipped off like immediately. You know what I'm saying? Cause fighting and shit.
So much different language, huh? From like here to over there.
Yeah. Wow. Which one? Which part? Which one did I say?
No, there was just.
Oh, you're just saying in general?
Yeah, just like.
Most definitely.
Yeah, like in general. Right now, like you said, like you have to hit. Well, you have to be here for 24 months.
Yeah,
and it's like
you hit a real farm, real ranch.
And that for us, it's like, well, for the guys, right? You have to be at reception for you to hit the main line.
Oh, I thought you were just comparing it to. That's what it's called. It's called reception for them. Oh, damn.
Like it's obviously it's called whatever prison you're going to, but it's
I know, but I'm saying like,
but it's a reception prison,
right?
Till you get designated to your
right, because it's also called like in Texas, also called like diagnostics too. You know what I mean? Because they run like all these tests on you. They want to, they evaluate you. You know what I'm saying?
They probably do all of that as well.
Right, most definitely. Yeah, they have to. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? I never asked them.
No, they have to because
I heard I heard you're not able to talk to like a therapist or anything over here.
Over here? Mm-hmm. Oh, damn. No, they actually like make you like it's mandatory for you to see someone. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why I said like when they ask you about like your history and stuff, like did you graduate high school or what? Did you drop out? You know what I mean? Like they evaluate you for real.
Oh.
Because they want to know like, like what kind of like behavior to expect from you. I guess. You know what I mean? That's how you get classified. That's the word. That's how you get classified.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, no, so it's
crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, how was it for you? Like, did you cook in there? What was like your favorite kind of food?
I actually worked in the kitchen a lot too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Did you work out?
Most definitely. All the time. Yeah, all the time. A lot.
You had visits?
Yeah, visits. Yeah. Like a few pen pals, you know what I'm saying? Family members, Even had like a couple of like homies that like left like, you know what I'm saying? Like once they left, like sent me like JPays. I don't know if y'all got the same thing. JPays.
I think they used to. Yeah, they still do. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, JPays, send me money, you know what I'm saying? Set the phone up so I can call.
That's cool.
So yeah, no,
that's love. That's
it's crazy
love.
because you'll meet like, you know, it's like the worst of the worst, but you'll meet some genuine like real mother. It's crazy. Like it's something that I still talk to this day. Like outside in the world, like they tell me all the time. Like man, every time they see me doing something, like right now that I'm out here in LA, they're just like, man, like I remember being in the chow hall with you, or I remember being in this pod with you, and you said you was gonna get out and do something
Love
with your
that.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so that stuff be feeling good for me because I'm like, damn, like I'm really doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you are. And you're gonna continue. You're going to continue. What would you say was the craziest from your prison experience?
Oh man, there was like so in Texas we call them psych patients.
Ooh.
It's like dudes that take meds. So they got this thing called pill window. So whenever they're gonna call pill window,
Like
pill
pill line.
window, turn
Okay.
out. So if you go down there and take meds, you got to go out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how people know who you are and you know if you're crazy or not. You know what I mean? Because you take meds or whatever. So there was this one white boy. He was a psych patient and he ran alone. You know what I'm saying? He was just to himself, but he was weird. He was crazy and he had a mouth on him. And I remember like, you know, he was very disrespectful to everybody, like every single race. And I remember they blitzed him in the day room. Bad. Like bad.
Wow.
Every race. Yeah. Blitzed them bad.
Wow.
And like, you know, he was by himself. Like, no, you know, he didn't have no help. No, don't get me wrong, he fought for a little bit, but you know, yeah, they were
But they were probably tired of him already.
and yeah, hell yeah, broomsticks, fan motors. I don't know if you've heard about shit like that. I'm sure it's crazy out here too, but yeah. That was like, cause like, you know, you'll see people like, you know, like get into like, you know, an altercation and like somebody's gonna pull out like a lock with a sock or, you know what I'm saying? But for somebody to get hit with a broom, a fan motor, and he probably got hit with a lock too, I don't know, but I know for sure it was a fan motor and a broom. And the broom broke. So, you know, yeah, it was crazy.
That was crazy.
It was crazy. It was like something you see in a movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I can't say he brought it on himself because, you know, maybe he like
Was
really
mental.
wasn't, you know? So that's kind of wrong and shit, but that's like the craziest shit that I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because like fighting and all the other, you know, riots, mini riots and, you know, just little shit like fucking setting it off with the laws and shit, that shit's normal. You know what I'm saying? Like that's nothing to me. You know what I mean? We was doing that in Juvenile. You know what I
Got
mean?
it. Yeah.
But for like some shit like that, like damn. I mean, I remember I saw a CO, a woman CO. I remember I saw her get like knocked out, slept in a child.
Wow.
And yeah, and everybody in there was just so rowdy and so like, you know, setting it off that they didn't even come and get her.
Dang.
They didn't even come and get her. She's just on the floor.
Did you have a SEAL girlfriend?
I had like a few like in the kitchen, like in the chow hall and stuff. Because I mean, like you gotta think like
This
like
will say I had a few.
Yeah, because like, you know, like, well, because like they rotate like a motherfucker. Like that's how.
Because they don't like to keep them at the same time because they could have a relationship.
Not only that, but like, yeah, like either they're getting caught up for relationships. I guarantee you, like, if it's a woman and I don't know, I'm just saying prison in general that works in prison, if she has like, if it's known that she has like one boyfriend, she has more than one. You know, like she has a few. Like the women go, I don't know. I feel like the women go over there for that. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just being honest.
No, I
I'm
get
just being
it. I
honest.
get it.
It's-
I get
It's
it. You
wild.
know?
It's wild because even like older, like, you know, like, and I mean older. Yes. Yeah. Not me, but like, you know, it's common. It's very
No,
common.
yeah.
It's very common.
I feel like that's why a lot of women don't actually work in.
Well, I don't know. I mean, in Texas, a lot of women work in there. Like I remember they used to bring, what are they called? They're called new boots, but it's another word for them too. But they bring them in and they're like in training and like out of like, if they bring in 7 new guards, at least 4 of them are women.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 of them are women. And 9 times out of 10, they're probably young, fresh out of school.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Like for us, like in the LA County, like in the county jails, there's a lot of women sheriffs because they're sheriffs, you know?
Right.
But I don't really, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of women that work in the prison system, right? But
And they don't necessarily have to be a CO.
It's like the free staff or
You
whatever.
got women that work in the medical.
Well, I
in
had
the
prison.
education.
I've had prison nurse on here before.
Yeah.
She ain't a prison nurse anymore.
Hey, say, I want to go watch that episode because that's real. That's real life. Like it's really crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But like I don't know. I feel like as long as you know how to move and stuff, like
Yeah.
like, then you should be fine. You know what I mean? I never got jammed up for anything. You know what I'm saying?
good.
But at the same time, I wasn't just very reckless and just
You're just-
I'm not gonna sit here.
You
and
know
lie
how to
you.
move.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just lie and say, "Oh, I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted when I
Yeah.
wanted." No, it don't work like that.
Yeah, you
And
gotta-
honestly, I feel like anybody that says that,
There's rules.
like it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that perfect.
Yeah.
It's not that perfect. It
Yeah.
might get good, but it's not that perfect.
Yeah.
Like I don't
There's
give a
gonna
fuck
be
what
chaos.
you say.
Yeah, chaos for sure.
And then because you got to worry about like you got to worry about like the people that because you got to have a lookout. You're not just thugging like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all not doing that. Like it's not a movie. Like you
Like,
got to
you're
have
not
a
by
lookout.
yourself.
Somebody has to know, and once they know, this person knows, and then somebody knows that's a hater, and or they want to get at her, and it's a lot. So you
Yeah.
got to be real careful. Like I used to have to like, hey, like I'm not talking to you today. Like early in the morning before all these other workers get in here, like I'm letting you know right now, like I'm not talking to you. Don't come to me. Don't nothing. Like I mean it. I'll leave. For real. Like I don't give a fuck about this job. Like, I was trying to get home to my family. I was trying to get home to my people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's cool.
Because
Don't
you
get me
already had
wrong.
your son.
No, I didn't have my son.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't had
Oh,
my
okay,
son.
okay.
But I had my family. I got nieces and nephew,
Yes.
sister, my brother, my mom, my
Yes.
dad, like a lot, my uncles,
Yeah,
got
you
a
have
lot
your
of
family, for
that,
sure,
you know
for
what I
sure,
mean?
for
Like,
sure.
And I knew like,
Like, girl,
It's-
I am not staying here because of you.
you know what I mean? Like, just don't like. First of all, like, I'm not green. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? Like, you work right here on Mondays. You know what I'm saying?
And you
But
work
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for them 4 other 3 days, you're at. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. You know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah.
for sure. So.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
But
Yeah. So, how did you find out that you were going to go home?
Man. Actually, I didn't even know. So I was on my. Oh, you know what? I don't think I ever finished answering that question about how many units. I said Holiday, Larry Gist, Ramsey 2, and then Bird, Darrington, and then finally on Roach Unit is where I did like most of my time. Like,
Okay.
like probably like 5 years of my whole sentence. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's probably where I had like, no, you know what? No, yeah. I had like, some good times on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to make the best of the time.
Yeah.
Like,
What can you remember that's a good memory that you're like, oh, this is super nice?
It's not like nice, but it's just funny. Like, it's the gesture. Like, so like in the kitchen, like if it's your birthday, like you're not supposed to let people know that it's your birthday. You're not supposed to let them find out. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna go and tell the busters, like they clean all the pots and pans. They're gonna tell them to fill up the sink. The sinks are big,
Yeah.
so they're gonna tell them to fill up the sink with ice and water. Yeah, and so they'll just get you like randomly, like you wouldn't even know that they know because like it happened to me, and I didn't go around telling people, hey, it's my birthday. You know what I'm saying? But motherfuckers that knew me, like hey, like it's your birthday. Like, man, don't be saying that. Nah, I got you. All right. Then, hey, come here real quick. What? Like, and you don't know what's going on. What's going on? And then it's like 8, saying, and they're all like wrestling you. And you fight as hard as you can. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna get you in their water eventually.
But that's nice. But
Yeah.
do you guys like cook for yourselves? Like,
yeah,
do like
for
a
sure,
little.
for sure. Yeah, like we used to
Okay.
cook whatever we wanted. I actually learned how to bake in there
No, I mean for your birthday.
for your birthday. Yeah, but like I said, I worked in the kitchen, so I pretty much had like. I was able to do whatever I wanted. You know what I mean? I was able to get whatever I wanted.
Got
like,
it.
Literally, whether it was free world or prison. You know what I mean?
Got it.
Like, for sure.
So you're a baker now.
Well, I haven't done it in a while, but like, that was just something to do while I was there. Yeah. They used to have, so look, when I first got in the kitchen, it was like, okay, the cooks, like, they can eat whatever the they want. So I'm like, okay, let me do that. But then it was like, man, the bakers, they only got to do stuff like twice a week. You know what I'm saying? Like make biscuits one day and then make cornbread the next, and they're good. So I was like, man, I want to get over there. You know what I'm saying? And shit, and I f- a bunch of shit. And, like got on the verge of them firing me because I had been there so long. They're like, look, you really need to learn or we're going to have to fire you. all right, show me how to do this shit. So then I learned how to make cinnamon rolls, cookies, cornbread, cakes.
I got so fat working in the
For real?
bakery
For
when I
real?
was in prison.
Oh, you okay? Yeah.
Oh, I worked in the bakery too.
Yeah.
I got so fat. I mean, not like that. Because when I gain weight everywhere. So it's not like, oh, I just have a belly. Like,
Right,
nah,
right.
I get, like, I'm solid, like, everywhere. Like, so I'm cool, you know?
Did you work
I'm a
out?
little thickies. Yeah, I worked out. Yeah, I
That's
worked
funny.
out. I worked out.
That's funny.
Yeah, I worked out my whole term almost. Yeah.
Like, what kind of workouts? Like, I don't.
Well, we ran the track, treadmill, did our burpees. Well,
burpees-
it
burpees are tough.
it wasn't like mandatory for us.
Right. No. For sure.
But yeah, I had to work out. It was more like I liked it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, it does something to you.
it does. It does.
When you get in a routine and shit.
I still have to have a routine. I'm still very routinish.
Man, hey, if you don't have a routine, you come around me and you don't have a routine, it like irks me. And that, I guess that's like, people say like, oh, I'm penitentiary, but it's like, no, like it's just common sense.
Like, we're
you know
still
what I mean?
programming. We
Like,
have to program still.
Exactly. You know what I mean? There's no way you're a grown ass woman or a grown ass man and you waking up at noon and 2 and like,
Yeah,
what?
no.
come on
That's
now.
not. Yeah, that's
You
not
know
cool.
what I mean?
Yeah,
For real.
no.
With my life and everything that I do, you know what I'm saying? And like I'm up every morning 6:30.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's my.
For
Well,
sure.
today was the last day of school, so I'm hoping I
yeah.
at least get to sleep till 7:30.
That's
But I don't.
Hey, but
I don't
like,
need to
as
get up
long
if I
as-
don't want to. But I
Right.
choose to wake up before
Right.
everybody.
Right.
I need my little. I
Man.
need my morning to myself.
Hey, people don't. If you've never been to prison, people don't understand how vital that shit is.
It's like I
for
need
real,
to
for real.
wake up
Like, yeah,
to have at least an hour
I
to
need to
myself.
mentally prepare. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
'cause-
after that, whatever. Like, for example, like today, I didn't know I was gonna do this. He just called me, and I'm just
I
like,
know.
ugh.
Yeah. Hey,
But I'm like, all right, let's do it.
thank you too. Thank you
Because
for doing this.
I mean, this is work for me,
Right.
and I like to do it. Like, come on, I'm gonna complain about coming and sitting down
Right.
to like have us sit down and get to know you and you share your story, and
Mm-hmm.
this is good for you and for me. You know what I'm saying? My little therapy session for the day. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real.
You know,
Yeah, for real though.
So,
For real.
but yeah, so that was those were the good moments for you. You know, like
Yeah.
that you remember.
because you meet some like genuine. You know what I'm saying? I remember one of my partners. He's from Dallas. We still talk to this day. You know what I'm saying? He's always like, "Man, hey, I see you out there moving and doing that. Like, keep going. Let me know when you're in Dallas." I'm like, "All right, cool." You know what I'm saying? I remember when his mom passed. You know, like, and I'm fresh into my sentence. I was probably like 2 years in. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thank God every day. Like, when I was there, I used to thank God, like, like, damn, like, I haven't lost nobody that was just, immediately like that. So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for that now. You know what I'm saying? But like,
No more, you know what I'm saying?
man, like, I know a few people that like lost, like, and I remember.
I'm gonna cut that little part that I told you that just so you could catch yourself saying, you know what I'm saying.
Thank you. But yeah, no. So he caught. I remember when his mom passed, and like we used to work. We were like, we were always working together. We were always cracking jokes, everything. And then like one time, like he didn't come to work for like 2 weeks straight.
It was
And
down.
I'm like, and really you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
like, but they knew like, hey, look, like, like his mom, like, they gave him a week, but he took the next
2.
one and was like, hey, it is what it is. Like, what do
Yeah.
y'all want to do about it?
Send me
But-
the shoe.
For real. So, but then like after that 2 week, they're like, look, we let you thug it. Like we either you go to work or not. And he came to work, and I remember like just seeing him, it was different. And I was like, man, he didn't come in and say what's up. And I'm like, what the hell? Maybe he's going through something. Let him chill. Well, then he ended up like, making his way over there to me and my other partner and was like, what's up? And we're like, man, what's up? You good? Like, you moving a little different, you acting different. Like, you all right? And he was just like, man,
No.
he broke it to us. And I was like, I remember going back to the dorm, right? It was like 5 a.m. I stayed up until like 7 just to call my mom in the morning and like, let her know like, hey, I love you. Like for real. Like, sorry about all this shit, but like I love you. And if anything ever happened to you, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like it's some real shit that goes on in there that
Yeah.
motherfuckers don't really know about. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
too
showcased. You only gonna
different,
see the fighting, the stabbing, and
Yeah.
messing with the women, and but it's a lot of real shit that goes on in there.
Yeah.
I learned a lot in prison. I learned a lot in prison, and it shaped me for who I am, like the man I am now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
For
yes,
real.
yes.
For real.
Well, that's good. I mean, sometimes we have to go through what we have to go through because that's our path
Right.
to be able to do what we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, So we strong. We strong people, you know?
For sure.
So you've always been rapping?
No, ma'am. I actually started when I came home from prison.
And okay, so let's back up really quick
Okay.
so we could get there. So how did you find out you were gonna get out?
Oh yeah, you did ask me that. So I didn't know. I ended up catching chain, and when they give you a chain slip, right, and it tells you your name, your bunk, and whatever, and at the bottom it said re-entry, and that's how you know, like, okay, like, you know, but there is false alarms, like you can't get a re-entry land, and you know you didn't make the you know what I'm saying, but you only got 2 years left on your sentence, so you're gonna go to this unit and, you know, get ready for that, whatever.
Got it.
Because if you didn't make this one, you probably make the next one. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I got a re-entry land that I was on chain, and yeah, so you know, and then everybody in there, they know everything. So they're like, oh, it says re-entry, you made parole. Call home, hey, what's going on? There's no answer. It doesn't say anything. It says pending, like, you know, like they haven't decided yet. So I'm like, oh, in review, excuse me. That's what it says, in review. So I'm like, all right, love y'all. And I come and tell everybody, like, nah, man, it still says in review. They're like, oh, they probably just haven't updated. And like, man, that's one thing. I do not miss that shit. Like, letting motherfuckers talk you into, like, now for real? Now I'm calling every day. Like, I don't even call like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even call like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to, my mom would, like, vouch for me and tell you, like, man, he used to, like, not call for, like, because, like, I would just be, like, in my own little world, and, like,
You get lost. You get in the world. That's the world you're living.
For sure. So, like, you know, especially once it was just, like, repetitive, I was like, man, like, I used to be like, I'll call next month. Like, for real. And I know that sounds crazy to say now, but, like, I used to be like, yeah, I'll call next month. You know, not even knowing, like, looking back, I'm like, damn, I don't know what could have happened, but, you know, yeah, no, so I got that land, and then I ended up catching chain to another unit, and then I was there for a little bit, probably like about 5 months, just sitting there in that unit, not knowing what's going on. This dude's making parole. This dude came with me. He made parole. They made parole. Like, everybody's making parole. So I'm like, okay, I know it's coming. I just don't know when.
Oh, that's the worst.
Then I end up catching chain again. So I'm like, man, and at, you know, like, the phone's cut off at a certain time, so you can't call, you can't find out, and mail's not gonna come in like that. I want to say I remember the unit was called Segovia, and it was in Edinburgh, Texas. I think that's like down in the valley, and so I'm there, and then I end up making parole there, right? But I find out like 2 days later, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, right? But the program that I had was like, okay, like, you made parole, but now you're just waiting on a bed. So it can be anywhere from, like, motherfuckers was waiting 6 months to a year to get a bed. You know what I'm saying? And, like, motherfuckers was getting skipped over. Like,
because you're going parole, so you're going to go to halfway house.
No, it's like, so you're going to go to this program. So a FI6 is a 6-month program, meaning you got to go over here and take these classes, do these groups. Man, that shit was trash. But if you're smart and you know how to do it, you're going to buddy with someone, and look, hey, they want us to, like, pretty much snitch on each other. So, like, you write me up for fucking not tucking my shirt in, and I'm going to write you up for not making your bed. But we have to work the program.
Got
you know
it.
what I'm saying? It's like a buddy system. So yeah, but that's a 6-month program. Like, and even then, like, so I did the 6 months, and then I waited like a whole 3 weeks just to get a date. But when I got my date, it was like the next 3 days.
Oh,
so I'm
good.
like, okay, cool. But, you know, before that, like, you know, let me rewind to I made parole. Then I was just sitting there, like, and, you know what I mean? Like, I think it took me like 5 months to get a bed.
Wow.
So, you know, so that 5 months is just dead time. You know what I mean? So it's just dead time. It doesn't go towards the 6-month program.
Heck?
So yeah, so it was like that. Like, I remember I used to, like, argue, and I used to get into it, like, with my mom and tell her, like, man, this ain't no FI6, this is a FI11. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, like, because I sat here for 5 months. Then, like, you know what I'm saying? Then after I finished the program, ain't no telling how long it's gonna take them to give me a date. It took 3 weeks.
Wow.
But then I had it, like, it was like a Friday, and it was like, all right, you go home Tuesday. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, fuck, here, y'all can have all this shit. Like,
yeah,
you know what
I'm
I mean?
out.
Like, I'm out. You can have it all. Just give me my hygiene. That's the only thing I need. My hygiene, and that's it. I can have everything, for sure.
So you went home.
Yeah. So I ended up going home. I got picked. But I was in Bryan College Station. That was where the program was, and I did my 6 months. Waited 3 weeks. 3 days later, boom, and then I walked out the gates. And my mom was there, my brother was there, my sister, my two nieces, my oldest nieces, and my nephew right now.
Your whole family.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
That's good. That's a super good feeling.
Man, hell
but it
yeah,
was like super.
it was a great feeling. I didn't know, like, you know, and of course they didn't tell me the kids were coming. All I knew was my mom, my sister, my brother. So, you know, when I saw the kids, it was like, fuck, like I've been watching y'all through pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause my oldest niece, when I got locked up and sent to prison, she was like probably like 6 months. She was a baby. You know what I mean? She was a baby. She was a baby for real. So, you know, now she's like fucking 8 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I came home, she was like 5. You know? So it was like crazy. And she looked just like my brother. Just like my brother. And then his second daughter, she looks like my like his baby mama. And then my nephew, my baby sister's first boy. Yeah, he's just crazy as hell.
It looks like you guys.
Yeah. But he's mixed. He's mixed. He's black and Mexican. And yeah.
Oh, super cute.
And then his little sister, she's the same. She's mixed too. But yeah.
That's cute.
Nah, yeah.
And so
I'm
how
real
long
big
have
on
you been
family.
out?
We're in May, right?
Yeah, we're in May.
In July, it'll be 3. It'll be 3 years.
Oh, good. So you have been out for a while.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Hell yeah. I
And-
had a year when I came home, I had a year and a half left on parole. And I was kind of scared about that shit. I'm not gonna
No,
lie
because
to you.
you.
Nah, but I came home on some cool, like, you know, like I knew.
You
Like,
felt different.
I felt different. Yeah, I was way different. You know what I mean? And then it kind of helped that, like, they didn't just throw me out. You know what I'm saying? They were like, hey, GPS monitor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a curfew type shit. So
I feel like sometimes people that do long terms need a little bit of that.
and that's exactly what they're gonna tell you. That's exactly what they say. Cause like you know, it was the same thing for when I was in juvenile. Like they were like, man, you've already done like almost your 2-year sentence. Like you got to go to the halfway house. They don't want to just throw you into the world. And you know, at the time, I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like
But when you're a kid and when you're older, it's completely different, you know?
Right. But yeah, no. So it was good though. You know, like I said, you know, I learned a lot, and you know, it's helped me. It's carried me this far. You know what I'm saying? It's carried me this far, and I'm still going. I'm still kicking.
And when did you start rapping?
Yeah, so I came home and I got off my ankle monitor. I was home. I was on house arrest for like 2 months. Then they gave me like, oh, you can be on curfew. So then I was able to leave within like certain hours and shit. And then like after like a month and a half, they took it off. And then I'm gonna say like a solid like 3 months after that. So 6 months after I got my like ankle monitor off and shit, I started, you know, like putting money together, saving money and shit. And then I got introduced to a producer in my city, one of the like coldest producers in my city. Like he's probably one of the only ones that I work with. But I'm not against like working with anybody else, but like he's my favorite because like, you know, it's just like we got the chemistry, you know what I'm saying? Like we just got the chemistry,
It just
everything
works.
just yeah, like, you know, my music, like I say, my music speaks for itself. So it just, you know, it's always good. Like I always get good like feedback on my music, like God damn, like your beats and, you know, not even just my artists, like, you know, my artistry, like even like, man, the beats are cold too, like the ad libs, like, you know,
Everything, yeah.
So I trust them, you know what I mean? And yeah, we kind of met through one of my homeboys had a homeboy that was rapping, and that's how we met. Like my homeboy got invited to a studio session. I had never been in the studio. I'd never tried rapping. Nothing.
Really?
Like, no, nothing. I swear. I promise. Unc is my witness. And yeah, so we go because my homeboy wanted to start rapping, and I'm telling him like, man, yeah, I think you should try it. I want to try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the bread for it right now, but you know, eventually I'm gonna do it. Like, and I knew I was gonna do it because I said I was gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So, we ended up going. We got invited to a studio session, and I don't know. My homeboy he chickened out. Like, he didn't want to. Like, they told him like, hey, it's your turn, and he was like, nah, it's all right. Like, I'm gonna do it I'll go another time. Like, go ahead. Like. And so they were like, man, you sure? And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell? Like, man, I came over here because you said you were going to do it. Like, why aren't you doing it? And then he was just like, man, Bleeda, you do it. And I was like, well, you know, I don't really know this guy like that. Like, this is your homeboy. And he was like, man, you be rapping? And I was like, nah, but, you know, I like this beat and I've always wanted to try it. I was like, so, you know, you let me know. Like, he was like,
Okay.
man, go try something. And I'll never forget the first bar I ever said on a song was what I say. I was like, thank God for the trap. I ain't got to rap. what I say, thank God for the trap. I ain't got a rap. Fresh off the rack, trying to get some racks. Like,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
and I was like, you know, I kind of surprised myself. Like, what the hell? Like, the beat was kind of like, you know, I like looking at that song now. Like, you know, I probably would never release it or drop it, but you know, compared to like what I've done now, like, you know, because that was like my very first time ever. And so, yeah, we ended up making that song and everything. It never dropped though. But like, you know, I used to show my family, like, hey, look, like, man, tell me what y'all think about this. You know what I'm saying? And especially like my baby sister, because she very like like how you say it? Like, she criticizes a lot. So I was like, when she approved it, I was like,
oh, okay.
what the fuck? She was like, yeah, I've been showing my friends. And I was like, what the hell? Like, all right. So then it started off as something like that, you know, like a hobby. Like I was going, then I was like, man, you know what? I want to go to the studio. So I would go to the studio. I would make a song or two, and I would keep them to myself for
So it got easy for you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was always easy though. It was always easy. Like it was just natural to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, like I just, like I said, I kept going back and just making more music and like keeping it to myself. And then whenever I would feel comfortable and ready, I would be like, here, listen to this. Tell me what you think. Like I would even send it to my uncle, you know what I'm saying? Tell me what you think. And they would always be like, what the fuck? Like, bro, what? When are you dropping this? And I'm like, man, I don't even know how that shit works. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I got hella songs. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I done made.
I've been in the studio.
You know what I mean? Like in these past 6 months, like, man, I probably got like over 50 songs.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
like, yeah,
You
like
were in the studio.
Man, I've never like once I started like, you know, I took like a real liking to it. So
it was for you then.
Yeah, like I never went like how people be like, oh man, like I'm gonna just go for an hour, 2 hours. I never did that. I've never done that. I still never done that. Like my sessions are always 4 to 6 or maybe more depending on how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? If I want to be on some like, man, let's just blog this whole fucking thing. Like, yeah, like it's crazy, but it's fun to me though. You know what I mean? Like
you like it, you enjoy it. You enjoy it, and it's good for you. It's a positive thing. It's probably what's kept you out.
Most definitely, because you know, like them late nights of like being in the studio, like could have been late nights of me being outside. Like for the longest, like when I first started doing the rap like stuff, I didn't want to like be outside like in the clubs drinking. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't on none of that. Like I was still on probation. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I smoked like here and there. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, parole. But I smoked like here and there and shit. But like I would always make sure like, you know, that I was gonna come up clean. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of it helped me out a lot for sure.
Good.
It still helps me to this day.
I'm sure it's going to continue to help you. You know,
Most definitely.
So, if before we go, because that's what you're doing now. You know, you're here. You're from Texas.
Yeah,
you're
we're
here.
moving.
You're doing your thing, and this is what you're going to continue to do, obviously. So I'm not even going to ask you. So what is it that you want to do? Because this is what you're doing. You're doing it now, and you're going to continue because it ain't going to stop. You know.
Just living.
What would you tell somebody, a younger you?
Like what would I tell a younger me?
Yeah.
Like my younger self? Shit.
Because there is a lot of younger yous.
Okay. So you mean like the youth? Okay, yeah. Man, like I said in the other interview, man, like, you know, whatever you like or whatever you care deeply about, you know what I'm saying? That's like a hobby to you or something, or like potentially a career, you know what I'm saying? Just lock in on it and blitz it, you know what I'm saying? Like I always tell people, like I don't give a damn what it is. If you want to open a business, you want to learn a new language, you want to anything that you want to pursue, like you can do it. All I ask them to do is like for about a year and a half, like just lock in, like, you know, just lock in and blitz it, like give it all you got. You know what I'm saying? Like let that be everything. Like that's what you breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally what I did. That's literally what I did, and I'm still doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, just keep running, keep going. Especially if you young, man. Start while you young. You know what I'm saying? Like don't wait until you know what I'm saying, get a little bit older. Like, man, start now, start today, and just keep going and watch what it does for you, because it'll do a lot for you. It'll do a lot for you. For sure.
Love that.
For
How you
sure.
feel?
I feel good, man. I feel good. It's some good therapy. I know what you mean about this shit.
Because you started a little more quiet, and then, but a lot of people always start that way.
Yeah.
But it's me.
It's just, it's like, like that's your personal, you know what I mean? So, it takes
and then
a
I just
while,
kind
but-
of like, you just start talking. and
Right.
I make people feel comfortable.
Right,
You know?
most definitely, most
make people feel
definitely.
comfortable because I love that, I love when people come and open up and let that shit out. Let them, like, bam.
for sure.
Let that shit out. So you're okay.
Most definitely.
Good,
I feel
good,
great.
good.
I feel great.
All right. Well, thank you for coming and
Most definitely.
sharing. I know you got other stuff you got to go to. And tomorrow you have like a show?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am. With Hustle Music.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm opening up for Lil Robbie. We're actually about to go to the studio with him. He checked out my music and he wants to work. So
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's
there you
been
go.
going- it's been
so it
going
means you're
good,
probably going to
man.
be back more. You're going to be more.
oh, most
you're going to
definitely,
be back.
most definitely. I'm always like we made like some good connections out here, like you, your husband, and other people, other podcasts, or other artists and stuff. So like I always say like like somebody needs to be bridging that gap between Cali and Texas. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's cool.
I do too.
I obviously don't listen to music like that. I mean, I do and I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I support everybody. Like, if you're doing your shit, do your shit. Like,
No, for real.
even if I might not listen, but I'm still gonna support you.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Most
Like,
definitely.
'cause that's what I
and
do.
it's always good to see people of our color,
Yeah.
just thriving in whatever it is. I don't give a fuck.
No, I get it. Whatever it is, just fucking do it right.
Just keep going.
You keep doing it right. Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
right.
You too.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Well, again, thank you for coming and sharing. You guys don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.